of Diti, the mother of Hiranyaksha. She recalled all the words of her husband, Kashyapa, and blood flowed from her breast.
विनास्तासु स्वमायासु भूयश्चाव्रज्य केशवं रुसोपगुहमानो मम ददृशेऽवस्थितं बहिः.
When the demon saw his magic forces dispelled, he once again came into the presence of the personality of Godhead, Keshava, and, full of rage, he tried to embrace him within his arms to crush him, but to his great amazement, he found the Lord standing outside the circle of his arms.
तं मुष्टिभिर्विनिघ्नन्तं वज्रसारेरदोक्षज करेण कर्णमूलेऽहं यथा त्वस्त्रं मरुत्पति.
The demon now began to strike the Lord with his hard fists, but Lord Adoksaja slapped him in the root of the ear, even as Indra, the lord of the Maruts, hit the demon Vrita.
स आहतो विश्वजिता ह्यवज्ञाय परिभ्रमात् गात्र उदस्तलोकनः विशीर्णभावाङ्घ्रिशिरोरुपतत् यथा नगेन्द्रोल्लुलितो नभस्वता.
Though struck indifferently by the Lord, the conqueror of all, the demon's body began to wheel, his eyeballs bulged out of their sockets, his arms and legs broken and the hair on his head scattered. He fell down dead, like a gigantic tree uprooted by the wind.
शीतोष्णायान्नं तम् अकुण्ठवर्चसं करालदंष्ट्रं परितस्ततच्छतम् अजादयो वीक्ष्य ससंसुरागता अहो इमं को नु लभेत संस्थितिम्.
Ajahn, Brahma, and others arrived on the spot to see the fearfully tusked demon lying on the ground, biting his lip. The glow of his face was yet unfaded, and Brahma admiringly said, "Oh, who could meet such blessed death?"
यं योगिनो योगसमाधिनरहो ध्ययन्ति लिङ्गाद् असतो मुमुक्षया तस्यैष दैत्यर्षपपदात् हतो मुखं प्रपश्यंस्तनुम् उत्ससर्जः.
Brahma continued, "He was struck by a forefeit of the Lord, whom yogis, seeking freedom from their unreal material bodies, meditate upon in seclusion in mystic trance. While gazing on his countenance, this crest jewel of Diti's sons had cast off his mortal coil."
एतौ तौ पार्षदावस्य सापद्यात्तमसद्गतिं पुनः कतिपयैः स्थानं प्रपद्येतेह जन्मभिः.
These two personal assistants of the Supreme Lord, having been cursed, have been destined to take birth in demoniac families. After a few such births, they will return to their own positions.
नमो नमस्ते खिलयज्ञतन्तवे स्थितो गृहीतमलसत्त्वं मूर्तये दिष्ट्याहतोऽयं जगताम् अरुन्धुतस्त्वत्पादभक्त्या वायमिसनिर्वृतः.
The demigods addressed the Lord. All obeisances unto you. You are the enjoyer of all sacrifices, and you have assumed the form of a boar, in pure goodness, for the purpose of maintaining the world. Fortunately for us, this demon, who is a torment to the worlds, have been slain by you, and we too, O Lord, are now at ease in devotion to your lotus feet.
एवं हिरण्याक्षम् असह्यविक्रमं साधयित्वा हरिरादिशुकरा जगामलोकं स्वम् अखण्डितोत्सवं समिदितपुष्करविस्तारादिभिः.
Sri Maitreya continued, after thus killing the most formidable demon Hiranyaksha, the Supreme Lord Hari, the origin of the boar species, returned to his own abode, where there is always an uninterrupted festival. The Lord was praised by all the demigods, headed by Brahma.
माया यत्तानुक्तम् अवादिते हरे कृतावतारस्य सुमित्रचेष्टितं यथा हिरण्याक्ष उदारविक्रमो महामृधे कृतनवन्निराकृतः.
Maitreya continued, my dear Vidura, I have explained to you the personality of Godhead's coming down as the first boar incarnation, and killing in a great fight a demon of unprecedented prowess, as if he were just a plaything. This has this has been narrated by me, as I heard it from my predecessor spiritual master.
इति कौशारवाक्याख्याताम् आश्रित्य भगवत्कथां क्षतानन्दं परं लेभे महाभागवतो द्विज.
Sri Suta Goswami continued, my dear Brahmana, Sata, Vidura, the great devotee of the Lord achieved transcendental bliss by hearing the narration of the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead from the authoritative source of the sage Kausarva, Maitreya, and he was very pleased.
अन्येषां पुण्यश्लोकानाम् उदामायससां सताम् उपसृत्य भाविनोदः श्रीवत्साङ्कस्य किं पुनः.
What to speak of hearing the pastimes of the Lord, whose chest is marked with Srivatsa? People may take transcendental pleasure, even in hearing of the works and deeds of the devotees, whose fame is immortal.
योगजेन्द्रं झसग्रस्तं ध्यायन्तं चरणाम्बुजं क्रोशन्तीनां करेणूनां कृच्छ्रतो मूर्छया द्रुतम्.
The personality of Godhead delivered the king of the elephants, who was attacked by an alligator and who meditated upon the lotus feet of the Lord. At that time, the female elephants who accompanied him were crying, and the Lord saved them from the impending danger.
तं सुखाराध्यं ऋजुभिरनन्यशरणैर्निर्भिः कृतज्ञो न सेवित दुराराध्यम् असाधुभिः.
What grateful soul is there who would not render his loving service to such a great master as the personality of Godhead? The Lord can be easily pleased by spotless devotees who resort exclusively to him for protection, though the unrighteous man finds it difficult to propitiate him.
यो वै हिरण्याक्षवधं महाद्भुतं विकृतितं कारणसुकारात्मनः शृणोति गायते अनुमोदतेऽन्यः स विमुच्यते ब्रह्मवधात् अपि द्विजः.
O Brahmanas, anyone who hears chants or takes pleasure in the wonderful narration of the killing of the Hiranyaksha demon by the Lord, who appeared as the firstborn in order to deliver the world, is at once relieved of the results of sinful activities, even the killing of a Brahmana.
पुण्यम् अलं पवित्रं धन्यं यशस्यं पदम् आशिषां प्राणेन्द्रियाणां युधिशौर्यवर्धनं नारायणोन्नतिगतिरङ्गश्रेणिवताम्.
This most sacred narrative confers extraordinary merit, wealth, fame, longevity, and all the objects of one's desire. On the field of battle, it promotes the strength of one's vital organs and organs of action. One who listens to it at the last moment of his life is transferred to the supreme abode of the Lord. Oh dear Sonika. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Arpita, Ananya. Very lovely recitation and translations. Hare Krishna, everyone. Dear devotees, welcome to today's chat session on the auspicious Indira Ekadasi day. This Ekadasi is mother of devotion and the prime activity, more important than the fasting. On any Ekadasi is to hear and chant about the glories of Lord Krishna. So we are very fortunate that today we are able to gather to discuss the glories of Lord Krishna. So today we'll continue with our reading and discussion of chapter 19 of the third canto. We'll complete the chapter discussing text 35 to 38 yaksha. Hope you can hear me. I'm getting some message that my connection's unstable. But anyway, let's keep it going. So before we begin, let's recite the Mangala Charanam prayers. Please feel free to join in behind muted mics. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sahagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutan Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastete Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Satidevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Turubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vashadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachar Dishatarine Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. What happened there? All right, just bear with me. What am I trying to do? Yeah, trying to find the image to show. Yeah. Okay. So you can see on the screen a quick snapshot of the 3 chapters, 17 to 19, which are all about the pastimes of Lord Varaha Dev. And chapter 19 is entitled The Killing of Iran, the demon Hiranyaksha. We started off with hearing the description between the fight. Lord Brahma praising Hiranyaksha, the glories of the Lord's activities, which is 33 to 36, and we'll be discussing 33 36 from there today. And the last part of the chapter is something called Phala Shruti. Phala means fruit. There is a giving of some fruit for those who hear these pastimes of the Lord. So let's move on to text number 35. Here you go. Yo Gajendram Jasagrastam Dhyayantam Charanabhujam Prashantinam Karinunam Nam Krichrato Mochayadrutam. Yeah, he who Gaja Indram, the king of elephants, Jasa, an alligator, Grastam, attacked by Dhyayantam, meditating upon Charana, feet, Ambujam, lotus, Kroshantinam, while crying, Karan, female elephants, a Mochayad delivered the king of the elephants, who was attacked by an alligator, and who meditated upon the lotus feet of the Lord. At that time, the female elephants who accompanied him were crying, and the Lord saved them from impending danger. Purport, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The example of the elephant in danger who was saved by the Supreme Lord is especially cited here because even if one is an animal, he can approach the personality of God in devotional service. Whereas even a demigod cannot approach the Supreme Person unless he is a devotee. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, the 11th canto, in the section Uddhava Gita, Krishna, Lord, explains about the devotees who have attained the shelter. And Krishna goes through a long, long list of various ways by which we cannot. Nadanam, na tapasya, na jnanam. Long list Krishna gives. How one cannot get his mercy. And then Krishna explains how one can get his mercy. And then Krishna gives a long list of his devotees who got his mercy. And in that list is Gajendra, Sugriv, Hanuman, and so many animals are given in that list. I can't remember seeing in that list any demigods. We have time, I'll try and see if I can find the verse. But Krishna is making a point by, Krishna in that list, he includes demons, he includes women, he includes children, he includes animals, but not any demigods. The point being, as Srila Prabhupada is highlighting in this verse, the whole Srimad Bhagavatam is about bhakti, a devotional service. Ananya bhakti, pure devotional service, unmotivated devotional service. And it is such devotional service which attracts the Lord. And to make that point very clear, Srila Vyasadeva employs a technique called role reversals, where in the Bhagavatam, women become greater than their husbands. And that's in the pastimes of the wives of the Brahmanas. Animals become greater than human beings. Children become greater than their parents, like the pastimes of Lord Nishingadev. And we see that Srila Vyasadeva does this to give us an impression about the glories of devotional service. And Prabhupada makes the point here that the example is being cited. Why? Because even if one is an animal, he becomes qualified to approach the Supreme Personality of God. If engaged in pure, one is a demigod, one remains unqualified to approach the Lord unless he is a devotee. So someone say, but demigods are all devotees? That's the understanding. Demigods are all devotees. So how can we say that some demigods are not devotees? The point being, even demigods, yes, they are devotees, sometimes they get prone to fall under the influence of the material energy, and sometimes them to the
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Your voice is breaking.
message that my connection is not stable. Maybe I should move somewhere else. Just give me a minute. Hey. Is that any better, Mataji? I moved to...
Yes, Prabhuji.
That's better. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let me move on to the next verse. Okay, 36. Tam Shuka Rajyam Arjubir Ananya Sharanai Nirbihi Kritagya Kona Seveta Dura Radyam Asa Dubhi. Word for word. Tam unto him, Shuka easily, Aradyam worshipped, Rijubhir by the unpretentious, Ananya no one, Sharanai who take shelter, Nirbihi by men, Kritagya grateful soul, Ka what? Na not, Sevata would render service, Dura Rajyam impossible to be worshipped, Asadubir by the non-devotees. Translation. What grateful soul is there who would not render his loving service to such a great master as the personality of Godhead? The Lord can be easily pleased by spotless devotees who resort exclusively to him for protection, though the unrighteous man finds it difficult to appropriate him. Purport. Every living entity, especially persons in the human race, must feel grateful for the benedictions offered by the grace of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, anyone with a simple heart of gratefulness must be Krishna conscious and offer devotional service of the Lord. Those who are actually thieves and rogues do not recognize or acknowledge the benedictions offered to them by the Supreme Lord, and they cannot render him devotional service. Ungrateful persons are those who do not understand how much benefit they are deriving by the arrangement of the Lord. They enjoy the sunshine and moonshine, and they get water free of charge, yet they do not feel grateful, but simply go on enjoying these gifts of the Lord. Therefore, they must be called thieves and rogues. So, the important word in this verse is kritagya. Kritagya means gratitude, or as Srila Prabhupada says, gratefulness. Kritagya. One quality of a devotee of the Lord is that he is grateful. Actually, in the Nectar of Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami explains 64 qualities of Lord Krishna. And Srila Rupa Goswami cites examples from the Shastra where Krishna has displayed the various qualities. And one of the 64 qualities of Krishna is Kritagya, grateful. Krishna is grateful. And the verse that is quoted to substantiate this is really very beautiful. The verse quoted explains that how when a devotee chants the holy name of Krishna, Krishna feels very grateful to that devotee. When I read that, I found that quite amazing. Krishna feeling grateful for us chanting his holy name. So that's interesting. So in the same way, Krishna is grateful, his devotees have this quality of gratitude. There's one advanced devotee once said, gratitude is the condition of the heart in which bhakti grows. The opposite of grateful is ungrateful. And Srila Prabhupada in the purport talks about thieves and rogues. And he compares people who are not grateful to the Lord to be like thieves and rogues. Why? Because people who receive the Lord's mercy in the form of all the different arrangements that the Lord makes, like sunshine and moonshine and water, and they do not feel grateful for it, they are just like thieves and rogues. Thieves and rogues, they just take. So someone who just takes and not feels grateful, he's not noticed by the Lord. And Prabhupada says that every living entity, especially the humans, must feel grateful. Grateful for what? In this verse particularly, the Lord's protection. Devotees should feel grateful for the Lord's protection. We know that Srimad Bhagavatam has 10 subject matters. And one of the 10 subject matters is Poshana. Poshana means protection. So we see in the Bhagavatam many instances of devotees receiving protection from the Lord. So this verse is emphasizing this particular subject matter of Poshana. And the verse is saying, Krishna becomes easily pleased by spotless devotees. How? If they take exclusive shelter of him, seeing him as, the 6 angas of Sharanagati. That the 6 limbs of Sharanagati surrender is accepting all that is favorable for devotional service, rejecting all that is unfavorable for devotional service, seeing Krishna as one's only maintainer, that's 3, and 4 is seeing Krishna as one's only protector. So this quality of seeing Krishna, having this mood of surrender, Krishna is my only maintainer, Krishna is my only protector. That is a very important part of Sharanagati, which is surrender. And that means in all circumstances, a devotee is confident that Krishna will maintain him, Krishna will protect him. Some of you may have seen the movie Mahavatar Nashinga. There we see the example of Prahlad Maharaj. Absolutely 100% confident that Krishna will give him protection. No doubt. So when we come to that point where our consciousness, any situation, we see in the perfect example of Sharanagati is given is Vibhishan. Vibhishan thought he would stay with his brother Ravan. And he was surrendered to Lord Ram, but still there were some remnants of attachment still to his brother. But when Ravan told him to get out, after he suggested to Ravan to release Sita, it is said at that point he realized there was no use staying with his brother. And it is the point when he realized that he just lifted off the ground. And then from there he went to where Lord Ram was. And many of you all know that part of the Ramayana, this beautiful part, where Vibhishan took exclusive shelter of Lord Ram. Okay, I think we need to move on. Text number 37. Sava Iranyaksha Vadama Adbhutam Vikrititam Karana Shukaratmanaha Shrinoti Gayanti Anumodate Anjasa Vimocchate Brahma Vadahad Apidvijaha. Yaha, he who, why indeed, Iranyaksha Vadham, of the killing of Iranyaksha, Mahadbhutam, most wonderful, Vikreditam, pastime, Karana, for reasons like raising the earth from the ocean, Shukara, appearing in the form of a boar, Atmanaha, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shrinoti, yes, Gayati, chants, Anumodate, takes pleasure, Anjasa, at once, Vimucchate, becomes freed, Brahma Vadhat, from the sin of killing a Brahmana, Api, even Dvijaha, or Brahmanas. Translation: O Brahmana, anyone who hears, chants, or takes pleasure in the wonderful narration of the killing of the Hiranyaksha demon by the Lord, who appeared as the first boar in order to deliver the world, is at once relieved of the results of sinful activities, even the killing of a Brahmana. Purport: since the personality of Godhead is in his absolute position, there is no difference between his pastimes and his personality. Anyone who hears about the pastimes of the Lord associates with the Lord directly. And one who associates directly with the Lord is certainly freed from all sinful activities, even to the extent of the killing of a Brahmana, which is considered the most sinful activity in the world. One should be very eager to hear about the activities of the Lord from the bona fide source, the pure devotee. If one simply gives oral reception to the narrations and accepts the glories of the Lord, then he is qualified. The impersonalist philosophers cannot understand the activities of the Lord. They think that all his activities are Maya. Therefore, they are called Mayavadis. Since everything to them is Maya, these narrations are not for them. Those impersonalists are reluctant to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, although many of them are now taking an interest in it just for monetary gain. Actually, however, they have no faith. On the contrary, they describe it in their own way. We should therefore not hear from the Mayavadis. We have to hear from Sutta Goswami or Maitreya, who actually present the narrations as they are. And only then can we relish the pastimes of the Lord. Otherwise, the effects of the neophyte audience will be poisonous. So, this verse is reiterating a fundamental and key point of the Bhagavatam. And that is the power of hearing and chanting and taking pleasure in the wonderful narration of the Lord. So this verse is saying here, anyone who hears or chants or takes pleasure, what happens to such a person? He becomes relieved of all sinful activities. And of all sinful activities, what is the worst type? It's the killing of a Brahmana. Brahma vadhat api dvijaha. So the reason we struggle to surrender to the Lord and to advance is because of our sinful activities, sinful reactions, our karma. It's like we've been in this material world for so long, we've got mountains and mountains and mountains of sin. Imagine you are down and out and you want to get up, but you have a huge mountain sitting on top of you. You'll never be able to get up. It'll be a struggle to get up because this whole mountain is sitting on top of us. This is the situation of the living entities in the material world. It's very hard for them to come out of material entanglement. It's very hard for them to surrender to the Lord because they have these mountains of pap reactions. Sitting on them. But here's the beautiful thing. Here's what's so beautiful. That living entity who's down and out, cannot get up, if somehow the other, the messages of the Lord enters the ears, and if somehow the other, someone repeats what they've heard, and somehow the other, one feels joy and pleasure in their heart by hearing, then that huge mountains just disappear, just dissolve, and one is just able to get up. So this is our situation. Every time we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, and especially every time when we hear, we feel joy. Prabhupada speaks in his purport about eager. One should be very eager to hear the activities of the Lord. I know, dear devotees, I see there's 12 of you all here. For many, many years, you all have been coming without fail to hear and discuss Srimad Bhagavatam. I mean, how would anyone do this day in, day out, year after year after year, unless one is feeling some pleasure, some joy, some relief in the heart by hearing these messages of the Lord in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. And one thing we should have full confidence in, by simply this process of hearing, we are becoming day by day more and more and more free. Free to do what? Free to advance to our ultimate goal, the devotional service. So this verse, and especially it's so nice that the killing of the Brahmana is used, which, if anybody's got a heavy mountain sitting on their chest, it's that person who's been engaged in the sin of killing a Brahmana. So this is so nice. And Prabhupada is saying something also very significant, that Krishna is absolute. Krishna and his pastimes and the person Krishna, there is no difference. And Prabhupada makes a point, if we study the first verse, third canto, chapter number 40, Idam Bhagavatam Nama, that verse, Prabhupada says in the purport, one can get the same benefit as the personal presence of the Lord when one reads and hears Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada says, same benefit, no difference. So, for us, it may seem incredulous, but we have to have faith in this word. So Prabhupada is saying, when we are hearing the pastimes of the Lord, we are we are in a situation no different than if Krishna was sitting right next to us, or Krishna is sitting right in front of us. So significant, so significant. This is the power of them. And Srimad Bhagavatam is nothing but the description about the activities and pastimes of the Lord. Therefore, he said, when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, we are associating with Krishna. So the last verse, text number 39. Etan mahapunyam alampa vitram danyam yashayam sham padam ayur asisam pranendriyanam yudisoryavardhanam narayano ante gatir anga shrinvata. Etat, this narrative, mahapunyam, conferring great merit, alam, very, pavitram, sacred, danyam, conferring wealth, yasya, yashashyam, bearing fame, padam, the receptacle, ayur, of longevity, asisam, of the object of one's desires, prana, of the vital organs, indri, yanam, of the organs of action, yudi, on the field of battle, shaurya, the strength, vardhanam, increasing, narayana, Lord Narayana, ante, at the end of life, gatir, shelter, anga, or shonaka, shrinvata, of those who listen. Translation: this most sacred narrative confers extraordinary merit, wealth, fame, longevity, and all the object of one's desire. On the field of battle, it promotes the strength of one's vital organs and organs of action. One who listens to it at the last moment of his life is transferred to the supreme abode of the Lord. Oh dear Shonaka. Purport: devotees are generally attracted by the narratives of the pastimes of the Lord, and even though they do not prosecute austerities or meditation, this very process of hearing attentively about the pastimes of the Lord will endow them with innumerable benefits such as wealth, fame, longevity, and other desirable aims of life. If one continues to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, which is full of narratives of the pastimes of the Lord, at the end of this life, one is sure to be transferred to the eternal transcendental abode of the Lord. Thus, hearers are benefited both ultimately and for as long as they are in the material world. That is the supreme sublime result of engaging in devotional service. The beginning of devotional service is to spare some time and listen to Srimad Bhagavatam from the right source. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also recommends 5 items of devotional service, namely to serve the devotees of the Lord, to chant Hare Krishna, to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, to worship the deity of the Lord, and to live in a place of pilgrimage. Just performing these 5 activities can deliver one from the miserable condition of material life. So Prabhupada says in the purport, all benefit comes in this life, and all benefits also come at the end of this life. Simply by hearing, even if one does no austerities, even if one performs no type of meditation as enunciated by the Ashtanga Yoga process, simply by hearing, all success comes to us in this life in the form of wealth, fame, longevity, all objects of one's desire, strength. So who will be that person after hearing this in this life and even in the afterlife, at the end of one's life? Simply by hearing, all success is there. You know, one of our main services is the distribution of Srimad Bhagavatam. And we try to tell people, when someone takes the Bhagavatam and we go to their home to do an installation ceremony, we say, we cannot comprehend, we just cannot comprehend the good fortune that is descending upon that family and that home who have now invited the Bhagavatam into their home. What to speak of not listening simply by offering obeisances, offering respects to the Bhagavatam, so much of pap is removed. What to speak if one actually hears? Such people are the most fortunate people. So, it is explained the glories of hearing this particular pastime of the Lord. And we are so fortunate. Gone over time. Thank you very much. Apologize for going over time. Hare Krishna. Any questions, comments, reflections? Dear devotees, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Puja Mataji.
Yes, just one question. Then why only Brahmanas have been sort of isolated once they achieve the salvation, once they sort of listening to Srimad Bhagavatam, apart from other human beings? Special position
Okay.
for Brahmanas?
Yeah, because the Brahmanas, Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Itayacha. The Brahmanas and the cows are very, very dear to Krishna. Very dear to Krishna. And if someone kills anybody, you'll feel some pain. You will feel some anger. Like you may read something in the news, someone killed a young child. You'll feel some anger. You'll feel some upsetness. So in the same way, when someone kills someone who's very dear to the Lord, that sin is very great. So the point being, this is being singled out mainly for the point of emphasis.
Mm-hmm.
For the point of emphasis, just to emphasize that this hearing can get rid of all sin. But this hearing is even the greatest of all sins. So it's being singled out for emphasis, for us to understand, what we are talking about here, the power of what we're talking about.
Okay.
That's why it's singled out.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
And the other just thought is that, the mountain of sin that we are carrying,
Yes.
it's a frightening thought. How to relieve out of that?
Yes, very frightening. It's almost impossible to come out of it. So heavy. If you got a mountain sitting on your chest, you can't get up.
No.
Can't. But imagine just by hearing Mataji, that whole mountain dissolves, breaks up. Huh? That sin just going just by hearing the Bhagavatam. Such a beautiful process Krishna has given. So much of anybody can hear. Huh? Therefore, Srila Prabhupada used to say, go and put in the ear holes, the snake holes, put in the ears the messages of Urukrama. Urukrama Vikrama, no? Okay. Prabhupada says, put in the ears. Therefore, the gopis themselves, the gopis in the Gopi Git, they say, Tava katamritam, tapta jivanam, kavi biriditam, kalma safaham, Shravana Mangalam Srimad Atatam Bhuvi Grinantiye Ye Bhuri Jadana. The gopis are saying the description of your words and activities are the only relief for those who are suffering in this material world. And the gopis go on to say, glorious are those devotees who spread this message. So the greatest of all devotees, they have declared it, the gopis, in the Gopi Gita, this particular point. It's so wonderful.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you for that wonderful class. As always, you give such wonderful words of nectar, really. And the two most beautiful words to me are Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhuji, I have just one small question. Probably it's self-explanatory. It's verse 35,
Yes.
where it says, even an animal can, if he can approach a personality of Godhead in a devotional service.
Yes.
Doesn't it mean that that animal has to have special intelligence? Because we are told that humans, as a human birth, we have to take advantage because we have that special intelligence to recognize God. The animals, I mean, Sugriv and Hanuman were different, but how do I understand this?
So animals, they do not have the intelligence to think, here is a Bhagavad Katha taking place. Let me go sit and hear.
Yes.
They don't have that opportunity. Like we as human beings, we can say, oh, Bhagavad Katha, we'll go and hear. But the animals, they don't. But the point being, even if one is an animal, by circumstances, by faith, one gets to hear. Even they can be liberated. So therefore, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in one song, he sings, let me become in my next lifetime a dog in the home of a devotee. Because if I'm a dog in the home of a devotee, what happens in the home of a devotee? Constant hearing and chanting about the glories of the Lord.
Lord.
Yeah. So, what is an impossible situation? For a dog has to go through the different stages and finally come to the human form of life. Animals have to do that. They have to evolve till they come to the human form of life. But they don't have to go through that evolutionary process. If they hear the messages or they come in contact with devotional. So this again is these points are being made to emphasize to emphasize the glories of devotional service and the activity of hearing and chanting. This is some, and there's so many examples in the history of the Puranas and even the history of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of animals. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he went through the Jarikanda forest. And when he went through the Jarikanda forest, the elephants, the deers, the tigers, all of them were chanting Hare Krishna. Because in the body of these animals is this pure spirit soul, equal to everyone else. But it can be awakened. That's so powerful.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. That was a wonderful answer. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Any other reflections, dear devotees? You're
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sorry. This is just an observation, by the way. It's kind of related to the mountain of sins we have and how to alleviate or remove them. And like today is Ekadashi,
Yes.
and it does the purports of the Ekadashis kind of indicate, if you perform this vrat, then potentially, well, you will eradicate your sins and get great merit. And but it's kind of interesting that no matter how much penance you do in such a way, the next day you're just building them up again. If you kind of see what I mean, it's just impossible not to get rid of them. And from what I'm hearing is just listening to this Bhagavatam. It's one of the most easiest processes in the world. We can eradicate them without such difficulties. So
Yes.
it's quite wonderful to hear and uplifting to hear that this, because the knowledge of just listening to the Bhagavatam or such things is really not so well publicly understood or known. That's something that's I've kind of observed. Just an observation and a thought. Hare Krishna.
Very nice observation and reflection, Prabhu. Very nice. Yeah, it's a wonder, isn't it, that something so great, people are not taking it up. As I was explaining, one of our main services to promote and popularize the Srimad Bhagavatam and emphasize people. And we meet hundreds and hundreds of people. And what we discuss in class today, we try to convey to them. There are some, actually many people have taken the Bhagavatam, but there are more people that refused to accept this. Therefore, Prabhupada says, go and pour it in the ears. Go and pour it in the ears, Yeah.
Hare boy. Just one more observation, which is kind of not related to the Bhagavatam, but I think they got a mountain of emails that were unread there, like 290,000. I don't know how you're going to get through those. Hare Krishna.
Oh, there's a lot of the spam emails, Prabhu. Somehow or the other, I don't know how they get into my inbox. I need to clear that. Yeah, that's
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
yeah. Well, that's just nice observation. Anything else from anyone? Okay, thank you very much. All glories to Srimad Bhagavatam, all glories to Indira Ekadasi, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubheva cha
Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo
Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda.
Ki Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Jyoti Mataji,
Hare
for
Krishna.
your services. Hare Krishna.